Good evening, Elmwood Park, students, parents, and community members. Welcome to tonight's Elmwood Park Course Selection Parent Night. We typically use this specifically for our incoming freshmen or current 8th graders, but because of the situations with our pandemic and all the remote learning, we are also inviting all of our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade families to tonight's presentation. But I did want to give a special welcome to the class of 2025. I want to stop and take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Doug Wiles. I'm the building principal here at Elmwood Park High School, and this is the 4th year I've been serving as the building principal.
And good evening, I'm Bernhard Walke. I am the assistant principal, and I have been at Elmwood Park High School since July of this year. So I want to say thank you to all of you for welcoming me, and it's great to be here.
And 3 other people who are really influential in all of our course selection and course offerings and communication with your students through this entire process are Miss Paige Kazera, who is one of our guidance counselors with students last name A through G, Miss Allison Till with students H through PRE, and Miss Marissa Gray, PRF through Z. All of this information is going to be found on our website. We are recording this live stream event, so we will put this on the website as well. This presentation is also on the website. And then again, for any and all information, you can follow us on Twitter with the symbol below. One of the things we love to talk about with families, and of course we would love to have this conversation in the auditorium and talking to everybody with you present, is to make sure that everybody understands the mission and vision that we have here at Elmwood Park High School. And it is truly to provide every student the most challenging, inspiring, and well-rounded educational experience possible. We believe this thoroughly, and we have really worked hard over the last 4 years to try to meet this vision and support you as community members and your students as they walk through our halls. And we try to do this through high quality teaching and instructional practices, developing and increasing to develop our college and career pathways, putting a larger emphasis daily and weekly on social emotional learning of students, trying to continue to develop our school spirit and pride, and then also maintaining a safe and secure educational and learning environment. Throughout the course registration and course selection process, one of the things that is really, really important to highlight is the Elmwood Park High School philosophy and how this works. It is very different than a lot of schools in the area. So if you are a prospective high school student looking to explore Elmwood Park High School compared to other schools in the area, one of the things that I really wanted to highlight was that Elmwood Park High School, with the administration, the guidance counselors, and the faculty and staff, we are committed to working with all 3 facets, the parents and guardians, the student, and the faculty members to ensure that all of the students are placed in courses that are most challenging and most appropriate for the students. So something that is very different, you might go to another school and take a look, and they might tell you, based upon your test scores or the 8th grade recommendations, this is what classes you're taking, and you don't have a lot of input on it. One of the things that we really value here at Elmwood Park High School is including the parents, including the guardians, including the students in that decision-making process for course selection. Very quickly here before I turn it over to Mr. Walke, our goals for tonight, we're going to hopefully have you understand how our course recommendations are created, understand the course selection process, become aware of all of the course offerings that we provide at each grade level, learn how parents and students can view and communicate their course recommendation information with one another, and then finally how to best prepare the students for next year, especially those freshmen. So here to I'll turn it over to Mr. Walke.
Thank you, Mr. Wilds. So just kind of walk you through really quickly how our course placements are determined. Basically, we have our core courses as well as our honor level. Your core or your basic sort of general high school education, and your honors level is a track that's much more challenging. And as Mr. Wilds would say, at Elmwood Park High School, we want to ensure that we are challenging our students to the greatest extent, and also making a safe environment for them at the same time. So in a normal year, you'll notice that we would have we would take a look at our standardized test scores, and this is for the current 8th graders. And we would take a look at these and factor those into our decisions. Clearly this year, those will not be given, so that will be taken out of the placements. But what we will rely on for the 21-22 school year are going to be performance on our recent curriculum-based measurements or assessments, our behavior, which includes attendance, work completion, previous grades, and previous performance, as well as recommendations. And I'll go through those a little bit if Mr. Wilds goes to the next slide. So we look at curriculum-based measures. That means that we'll be looking at assessments that are our English language arts, our reading, and our math. And we'll come up with ratings based on performance in those assessments. So if you look, we have the rating scale of 4 for above expectations, 3 for meeting expectations, 2 for approaching, and 1 for below. And you'll see the percentages that are attached to those ratings. And so each child gets a rating based on those. Moving on to behavior and attendance. Again, the same 4, 3, 2, 1 scale. But as we look at that, that will be your attendance rates, and you'll see the rates below, as well as the work completion. And also we were going to look at their history, their previous grade levels. And this is also important in high school. How are they doing in their freshman year? How are they doing in their sophomore year? So again, we will rate students based on the above, meeting, and approaching or below, with the corresponding percentages below. And just to kind of give you an update on the selection process and the timeline, this is also, as Mr. Wilds mentioned, this is posted on our website. Beginning right before break, our wonderful counselors began meeting with our current freshmen and our juniors, and they're completing their course selections this month. And as you see right now, January 12th, we are at course selection parent night. So welcome once again. And moving forward with our current, this is important for the 8th graders who are at Elm. Please keep an eye out for the counselors. They will be presenting to you during classes in the first week of February and explaining the course offerings, as well as the courses themselves. Continuing the next 2 weeks, excuse me, the 8th through the 19th, all of the counselors will be meeting with every single 8th grade student to discuss the beginning of their high school career. And at the end of those 2 weeks, on the 19th, the course selections will be viewable in PowerSchool to you as parents or guardians. And I'll explain that on a later slide, excuse me. And then the 22nd through the 26th, this is the week that you'll be able to adjust the course selection. So this is an important week to pay attention to. So once you're able to see what your learner has chosen, have a conversation with your child, with your student, and then take that week to adjust any course selections. A very important week. And then you'll see as we go through March and April, that's when we take those course selections and we begin to develop our master schedule. We determine our staffing and start to work on that. May through July, we will have a residency verification and registration. There's a small paragraph at the bottom about that explaining that all new and returning students must prove residency. And there is a link at the bottom of the paragraph highlighted in blue that can guide you through the process on our website. And then let's see, our last couple points. We'll have in early August. Again, this is a tentative date. We will have our freshman orientation and our Chromebook distribution. And as of now, our first day of school is August 18th, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Walke. And then as a reminder with this live stream presentation, this is a lot of information on this particular slide, a lot of dates, a lot of material. Again, this presentation is loaded up already on our website. So if you go to our homepage and you'll see the drop down for the course selection parent night. So this presentation is there. Again, as a parent, specifically for our 8th grade families, those first few weeks of February are really important. And then that final week in February is a place where hopefully you're familiar with PowerSchool, and we'll talk through a little bit in a couple of future slides on how to navigate this. But it'll be really important that last week in February to make sure that you really take a look at what courses your son, daughter, your students have signed up for, both core curriculum, as well as elective areas. And then March, and April specifically, we got to do some planning with budgeting and scheduling. And then May is crazy because we're worrying about graduation. So when people ask about why do we do this so early, this is a pretty typical time frame for high schools in terms of course selection processing. Now, these next few documents here, we won't go into visually just through the live stream event, but on here, again, in this presentation, we have linked all of the incoming freshmen, current 8th grade course selection document, including then our sophomore course selection, junior course selection, senior course selection. So think through these. The 8th graders are receiving the freshman course selection. Our current freshmen are receiving the sophomore. Current sophomores receiving the junior. Current juniors are receiving the senior course selection document. When you go into this presentation on our website and you click on these based upon your student's class, you'll be able to see the courses available. Each of our guidance counselors is going to present in large groups, and some of them already have, as you saw in the previous slide, sort of the core and elective offerings available both in the college pathway or the accelerated pathway and the career pathway processes. In addition, if your student is a student with special needs, a student that is in our English language learners programs, all of those things are listed on these documents. The counselors will introduce these to the students by age group and by class, and then the students will then select the courses that they would like to take, all in the core curriculum as well as electives. And so these, if you wanted to go through it, you could see the list of all of the different offerings that are available by grade level. And then finally, the last item on the bottom is our website, where you can go and see all of our course selection resources. The next item that I wanted to mention is what Mr. Walke had alluded to earlier. These are the core content offerings at the high school. So at the high school, we consider English, math, science, and social studies as our 4 core content department areas. That does not mean to slight the electives, the business, and the arts, and the music, and the foreign language, world language, etc. This is just identifying for us that this is the core content. So these, if you follow along here on the left-hand side, the 3 English core content offerings for our current 8th graders, incoming freshmen, would be English 1. So this would be the general education curriculum. And then if a student wanted to take an accelerated option, it would be English 1 honors. If a current ELM student is in their accelerated program, they're currently taking English 1 honors now in 8th grade. So they would be recommended for English 2 honors at the high school. And if you follow along from left to right, the science department, our incoming freshmen will have the option of taking biology as a general education curriculum. The accelerated or college pathway curriculum would be biology honors. And again, if for any ELM 8th graders who are currently taking biology honors, they would be recommended and they'd have the opportunity to take chemistry honors as their core curriculum for their freshman year. Social studies, all ELM students are currently taking civics, which they will receive a high school credit for. And then moving forward, our current 8th graders will now have the option of taking either world history their freshman year or advanced placement human geography. AP Human Geography, or AP HUG, as it's better named as, is an opportunity for kids to take a college level course their freshman year. This is another thing that is great for EPHS and different than other schools around us. We can have our freshman students at EPHS taking college level courses right away their freshman year. They successfully complete what's called the AP exam in May of their freshman year. They can receive college credit for geography there as a 14 or 15-year-old. It's a pretty awesome opportunity. And then finally, the math department, we have 3 course offerings as well. General education is Math Algebra 1. Then our accelerated or college pathway would be our CP Math 1-2 honors. And then finally, if we have an 8th grader at ELM taking the accelerated CP Math 1 honors course, that student would then take CP Math honors 2 at the high school. And then finally, these are again links that we won't go into during the live stream, but you can certainly access these through the website. We have our complete programs of study. It's a 120 some page document that goes through all of our course, college and career pathways from grade 6 through grade 12. It's an awesome document that we created last year. It goes through all of our career pathways and what it means to be an accelerated student, general curriculum, career curriculum, etc. It is a wonderful document. The next item is the course listing guide. This shows every course that we have available by department. Again, this is a great opportunity for you to see all of the courses available. Sometimes freshmen will not be able to see all of the courses because not every course is available for them because of the course sequencing, but you can see the future offerings here on that document. And then finally, the graduation requirements on the far right side is an opportunity for our families to take a look at the graduation requirements. For our current students, the sophomores and juniors, they are on the old graduation requirements that we had established prior to moving to the 7-period day. But our current freshmen and our current 8th graders are on a new set of graduation requirements based upon the 7-period day. If you want to learn more information about that, you can please click on that link as well.
And like Mr. Wilds mentioned before, and I suggested as well, just a kind of quick trip through PowerSchool, and just a reminder of 2 important dates you can see on there. That the course selections will be viewable on February 19th, 2021. So as a parent or guardian, please take a look with that with your student and talk about the course selections and what's appropriate. And finally, if you have any concerns or want to change, again, that date of February 26th, please reach out to the child's counselor after viewing the course selections to make any changes. And just to kind of sort of a look at the interface of PowerSchool, you'll see if on the bottom, or excuse me, on the left menu, what's highlighted is class registration. And so on that interface, you'll go to the course request and you'll click on class registration. And you can see it's broken down into core classes, like Mr. Wilds explained, elective classes, and alternate courses, and then of course following by your special education courses and your ELL courses. So you'd go click on that, and then we'll go to the next slide. And so this is an example of what a course selection will look like for a student. And you can see this is for grade 12. But it's very similar for all levels. And so if you look at the top, these are the core courses again. And so you can notice that this student has selected AP English Literature, AP Stats, AP Government, and so forth. Below, they're your electives. And the electives that this student has selected are Art, Marketing, Virtual Enterprise International, and Spanish 4 Honors. And now what we have below that are what are called our alternative courses, or excuse me, alternate courses. And these are courses that are offered or put in place if a certain course, like an elective or something like that, doesn't run, or because of low enrollment, or because of a scheduling conflict. So these are just kind of like your fallback courses, if you will. And so if you have any questions about how to do that or how to view that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us or to the tech department. And freshman year, this is kind of a special message for freshmen. And as a person who taught freshmen for 8 years, it was one of the favorite parts of my career. It is a big year for you. And I want to give you a warm welcome to your freshman year in high school, 8th graders, as that's coming up. It is a big change. And there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities to engage in athletics, extracurriculars, take all of these great courses, be in this huge new building, and all these people around you. And I myself am really looking forward to welcoming you into your freshman year. It's great.
And as a fellow parent that has an 8th grader myself, I am freaking out, like many of you, if this is your first high schooler, future high schooler. So I am in this boat. I am currently on this side of the screen now, and then when I go home, I'm on the other side of the screen, freaking out and biting my nails and wondering how my son is going to do as a future freshman in a high school. Elmwood Park is a wonderful, wonderful high school. We care deeply about all of our kids. We are a byproduct of this community. This is a great tight-knit community. We do care deeply about our kids, and it's something that for us at the high school, administratively, to the staff, to the community, we do take really good care of the kids, and we understand that transition from Elm to the high school, though it's a short move down the street here, down Fullerton, it can be a really, really drastic change. Many kids have never been in a building with 900 kids, and they have not been in a building with 14 to 18-year-olds before. So I completely understand. We will work very hard to make sure that freshman transition for your kids is an exciting, safe, and fun one. These 4 years are awesome, and hopefully for the current 8th graders, this transition for you will be magnificent. So tonight, that is it for our presentation. This live stream event will be posted on our website after we're done today. The presentation is also on our website. The most important things about this, if you do have any questions whatsoever, you can follow us on Twitter, and feel free to fire questions our way via Twitter if you believe that it's a nice social media conversation to have, so other people can learn and grow, and we can share together there. If you have any particular questions, you can email me directly. This is my website, or I'm sorry, this is my email address here. In addition, Mr. Walke, also his email address, and then our 3 guidance counselors' addresses are here as well. So on behalf of Mr. Walke, the Elmwood Park staff, I want to thank everybody. I want to tell everybody we really appreciate you. We're getting really, really excited to have some of our students and coming back to the building. Our staff came back to the building this week. It feels good to have this feeling like we're getting ready for school all over again here, with people coming in the building. And then my favorite part of this winter is thinking about the future planning for course selection with your kids. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and go Tigers.